Hey everybody, welcome to California Bountiful. I'm your host, Tracy Sellers. And today we're hanging out in North Beach in San Francisco at Capo's, where they're known for their authentic Chicago Italian cuisine. And this is actually one of their famous menu items. It is a baked artichoke, and it is taking me everything not to just dive into this. And we're gonna show you how to make it. But before we do, why don't we show you a little bit more about artichokes? And where do you go but the artichoke capital of the world? Check it out. If you've ever driven along the Central Coast and wondered what the heck these plants are, you're not alone. To the naked eye, they may just appear to be overgrown plants, but look a little closer and you'll discover one of the hidden beauties of California agriculture: artichokes. And there's no better place to learn about them than here at Ocean Mist Farms. The folks here have been devoted to growing the thorny thistle since 1924, and today they are the largest artichoke grower in North America. And this is where they call home, the tiny town of Castroville, which happens to have a huge distinction: artichoke capital of the world. Yeah, I said world. And the honor isn't just by accident.
Castroville really has a Mediterranean-like climate. Artichokes don't like it the same way they don't like a lot of rain or not enough rain. They also don't like a lot of cold or a lot of heat. And in the summertime here in Castroville, it's rare it gets above 75 degrees. In fact, normally it's 65 in the day and around 50 at night. And it's that way from the middle of June to the middle of August.
California produces 100% of the United States crop of artichokes, and it's no easy task. Before it reaches your home, it will take skill, speed, and smarts out in the field to get the job done right. Workers begin by scouring the field looking for the right-sized artichoke, which they quickly harvest and then toss over their back into a specially made artichoke harvesting backpack called a canasta. From there, they take it to the nearby packing truck where each choke is inspected and packed with only the best of the best, making it through to your store.
Each crew is going to harvest and pack between 3,000 and 5,000 cartons on a daily basis for the next 2 months. And that really equates to about 150,000 artichokes per crew per day. Now at this time we're running 3 crews. That's, we're pushing 500,000 artichokes.
And hoping to help them reach their daily goal of nearly 1 million artichokes harvested and packed, and because I always like a good challenge, I decided to try my hand at harvesting one of my favorite veggies. So, Dale, you're going to teach me how to harvest artichokes.
That's right. I take it you've never harvested artichoke before?
How did you know?
Yeah, put it underneath the artichoke, and you're just going to pull it towards you like this here. Now, what we would like to see is about 3 fingers, which means this is a little bit long here.
Okay, so
Going to just toss it off, and then toss the artichoke in the basket.
You make it look really easy.
Actually, you've got about 3 hours to get the knack of this, because if you don't catch on by then, you're done.
You're fired. Then there was the toss, which took some practice, but then I was a pro at it. No look.
You're catching on a lot faster than most folks do. I'm impressed. I really am. I'm thinking there's a place for you out here. I gotta say, you're probably one of the fastest learners that I've ever taught how to pick artichokes.
Here's something extra for you in the paycheck there, Dale.
And so look at this beautiful jumbo artichoke right here.
Oh my gosh.
Gorgeous. Big size jumbo artichoke.
As a grower, what does it make you feel when you see something like that?
It's what being an artichoke grower is all about. I mean, the fact that you're able to be out here, harvest the product that you've worked hard to grow all year long, it gives you it's a special feeling.
Yeah.
It's every other grower in the world knows what I'm feeling right now.
On second thought, I think I'm going to leave the harvesting up to the pros. And while I'm at it, I think I may leave the cooking up to the pros too. Monterey chef Tony Baker isn't a native Californian, but he says he has fallen in love with the California-grown veggie and hopes to help others do the same too.
Well, it's funny. California, there's very few strangers to artichokes, but once you start getting into other parts of the country, people are fascinated by them. and they're a little bit bewildered and puzzled in how to cook them, and somewhat intimidated. So I take pride in taking out that intimidation and showing them how simple they really are to prepare.
So while preparing them is simpler than ever, the journey from field to fork for artichokes remains a well-orchestrated production. And I should know, but farmers wouldn't want it any other way.
It keeps you humble. At the same time, competitive people really love the industry of agriculture for that reason, because you just never know what's going to happen from one second to the next.
Hi, I'm Matt Molina with Capos in San Francisco North Beach, and I'm here to show you how to make the oven-baked artichoke hearts. First, we're going to start off with 2 artichoke hearts with the stems. We've marinated them, and I'm going to go ahead and place it into our wood-fired oven. If you're making this at home, you can use your own oven. I would set it at maybe 400 degrees. We're going to set that in there. Next, I've sliced 5 pieces of bread that I'm going to go ahead and toast that we'll be using later. And now I have an artichoke, pretty basic artichoke dip here that I'm going to go ahead and start to heat up. Use about 4 spoons on that. Spread it around, and I'm going to go ahead and put this into my wood-fired oven as well. And now that my artichoke dip has started to heat up, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of provolone that I've shredded. That'll make it nice and thick, real cheesy. And then I'm going to put it right back into the oven. And now that that's been heating up, I'm going to go ahead and stir it around. And I'm going to add a little bit of sauteed spinach to it. And then we're going to put it right back into the oven. Now that everything is finished, I'm going to go ahead and pull my sauce out. One final stir, and then I'm going to go ahead and put it on the plate. Spread it around. I'm also going to go ahead and pull our artichokes out. You can see how they've roasted around the sides. There we are. I also had that bread from earlier that we're going to go ahead and place. Just like that. I have a little bit of olive oil here that I'm going to use to go around the bread. I have my grated Romano pecorino. A little bit of oregano. I have fresh lemon that we're going to squeeze on top. And then some crushed red chili flakes. And here you have it. This is our oven-baked artichoke hearts at Capos, and I hope to see you soon.
And as always, you can check out that recipe at our website, CaliforniaBountiful.com. And stay with us because we're going from one of my favorite vegetables to one of my favorite fruits, cherries. That's straight ahead.
Closed captioning of California Bountiful is provided by Agriculture Liquid Fertilizers. Producing better crops with better fertilizers, it's better for California.
Hi, my name is John Ledbetter. I work at Boca Nova Restaurant in Jack London Square, Oakland, California. I love cooking with simple ingredients, seasonal ingredients. I like using the right things at the right times, and I like to do 10 ingredients or less, preferably always. What we do in this business is we highlight food, and you can't highlight food unless you're using the best of what you can get. And if you can't do that, you should either try to do it or you should go do something else.
Hey everybody, we're at the farmer's market today learning what to eat for good nutrition. And who better to ask than my good friend Marie Hagenberger. She's a registered dietitian and the nutrition professor. And we're here in front of these beautiful cherries, which I love to eat, but they are good for me too, right?
They are. They are a sweet treat that we should not miss. Now remember what we talked about with color. Color means nutrients. So the dark colors are gonna provide us with the most nutrition.
Okay.
Now, what you'll want to pick, and actually, do you know that cherries have been shown to reduce pain associated with things like gout, fibromyalgia, and even sports injuries?
I did not know that.
Oh my goodness, yes, they're fantastic.
Oh my gosh.
Nature knows what it's doing.
I know, right?
It does, absolutely. So when you're choosing cherries, you're gonna wanna make sure that they're plump. The other thing we wanna make sure of is that we get as ripe as possible when we see them, because they're not gonna ripen anymore. Once they're picked, that's it.
That's it.
Okay, that is it. So we wanna treat them with care, but we wanna also think about putting them in the freezer. And I'm actually gonna show you this fantastic combination that I made up after a run.
So we came home from the market with our cherries, our beautiful, beautiful cherries, and there's tons of things you can do with these, but you have a really interesting recipe that you came up with just spur of the moment, right?
I did. I got home from a run, a Saturday morning run, and I thought, oh my gosh, I need something a little bit sweet. And I know that cherries are good for pain reduction, and even with sports injuries. We had talked about gout at the farmer's market, fibromyalgia. So I thought, what can I put together? And I put this combination together, made a small portion thinking, well, I mean, it'll probably be okay. It was great. So now you're hearing these cherries because I pitted them and cut them and then put them in the freezer, because this is really good frozen. And then we're gonna add mandarin oranges, local oranges, and local walnuts.
So 3 ingredients.
3 ingredients.
Wow.
That's it. And done. See how quickly it went?
It doesn't get much easier than that.
No, it doesn't. And as the juices commingle, I'm telling you, this is just delicious.
Put some yogurt.
Oh, you
Little
could.
Greek yogurt.
Yeah, or you could do a soy yogurt or an almond yogurt as well. It's really delicious. And the nuts provide some protein and fat.
Exactly. Okay.
All right, so are you ready to taste?
Ready to try.
Okay.
Ready to taste. Always
So
ready.
Let's plate this up. Now it's going to be a little icy.
I love it though. That's a great idea to freeze them.
Freeze it. Okay.
Especially because then you can use it all year round. Or you can use it
all
for a
year
while.
round. You can.
Oh my goodness. That's phenomenal.
The combination.
It's so good. Yeah. Again, it's so sweet. Don't need any sugar.
No,
Just nature's little treats here.
it is. That's why I called it my cherry orange sweet treat. Because it is. It's not just a fruit salad. It's actually a treat.
You need to try this. You need to try this. So now that we know we should be eating more cherries because they're so good for us, let's find out a little bit more how they're grown at a place not far from here, actually. Sunnyvale, cherries, and the Olson family. Since 1899, those 3 things have been linked together. And despite urban encroachment, development, and basically an entire city being built up around them, the link between these 3 doesn't look to be broken anytime soon. When your last name is Olson and you live in the South Bay, there really isn't a question about what you're destined to do in life. That was determined over a century before. Today, it's Deborah Olson who is the latest in her family to be involved in one of the last vestiges of agriculture in the area.
This is my father, Mr. Olson.
How are you folks? Nice of you to come.
It all started back when her great-grandfather, Carl Olson, put down roots as a cherry farmer in the agriculturally rich area in the late 19th century. Next came his son Charles, who along with his wife Rose would change the look of the farm and ultimately the future of this farming family with one simple idea.
He put a little fruit stand, which was a tray on 2 sawhorses. And anyway, she saw it was a moneymaker, so she had him to build her a little fruit stand. That was 1933.
From that small fruit stand, the business blossomed. Their 5 acres quickly turned into 100, and life was, well, like a bowl of cherries. But as the business grew, the area around them began to change. Santa Clara County, once known as the Valley of the Heart's Delight, soon turned into the heart of the Silicon Valley. And as thousands of people moved in, it forced hundreds of farmers out. Back in 1999, farming all but vanished from this area in Sunnyvale. Development was everywhere, including here. And the Olsons were forced to give up their family home and most of their orchards. But there was one thing they refused to give up: their family farm stand.
And knew that there would be a day that this is all going to change, that we would have to develop it. And sure enough, that day came, and we had to because the trees were dying, and we're no longer in an agricultural environment. This is a 16-acre parcel, and this area here was where my great-grandparents' home was. I always knew that I wanted to be in this business. I worked side by side with my grandmother Rose, and I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed being around customers, and of course, I love cherries.
Today, it's Deborah and her father Charlie who are continuing the family farming operation. Charlie runs the small but still productive cherry orchard, and Deborah runs the famous fruit stand with some even more famous fans. And despite the passage of time, the Olsons are determined to not let their family farm pass into time and be forgotten.
You're very welcome. We'll see you again then. Good.
I love doing this, and I love cherries, and I love working with growers and agriculture. I love food.
She'd run it beautifully. She developed it beautifully. She made it grow, but she works hard, very hard. She puts in all the hours it takes. If it takes 60, 70, 80 hours a week, she gives it that. And I don't think you could get that unless you were working for yourself.
Remembering how the Olson cherries was in the past, coming back year after year after year and saying the same thing: they're the best. That to me is, yes, this is what I want to give to people. That's what I always want them to remember, and I don't want them to ever be disappointed.
Educating folks about farming is just the latest effort by the Olsons to continue their century-long farming tradition. Like a chameleon, they have taken on many different identities over the years. From farm to fruit stand to mail order, the Olsons have reinvented themselves time and time again and managed to survive the test of time the only way they know how, with family and cherries.
Well, Debbie made it. I know it's going to be good. Beautiful. No, it's been a nice ride. It's been a lot of memories. There never was work. I mean, it was a lot of hard work, but never was hard work because everybody worked together. I always knew I had somebody to count on.
He's my supporter, he's the farmer, he's my father, he's the bank, he's my everything. He's a good guy. I'm sorry, you got me. He's a good guy.
And don't leave us just yet. There's more California Bountiful coming up. Stay with us.
My name is Patrick Mulvaney, and my wife Bobbin and I own Mulvaney's Building and Loan. It's a restaurant, banquet hall, and a catering facility here in Sacramento, California. Focus on local, seasonal food. So our menu changes every day, and it all depends on what the farmer brings in the front door. Every day brings a new excitement here because of the farmers that are around here. Everybody brings it in here to our restaurant so that we can put it on a fork, and our guests get to enjoy it.
I'm back again, you guys. Here we go. We're gonna go ahead and cook up something here from the Red Door and the Wellingtons, farm to table, or like we say here on our menu, farm to fork. I have some roasted vegetables that came from the farm today. I'm gonna pull out of the oven. I just went ahead and prepped some fennel, some beets, and some asparagus. Just slice them, as you can see, almost all the same size. Toss it in some olive oil, salt and pepper, 350 for about 30 minutes in the oven until it's al dente, fork tender. I'm gonna go ahead and set these over here. On the side, I'm gonna go ahead and heat up my saute pan with a little bit of olive oil. The whole idea of this dish is something that's full of flavor. Kids love it, adults love it. It's a great side dish to any entree you may have, or even just by itself. Quick meal on the run, you need some nutrients after your workout. This is packed with it. You can have it cold, you can have it hot, you can have it warm. You can even store it for a couple of days and have it be really well. Even if you toss it with the chimichurri and the nuts ahead of time, you can use that as a side dish, mix it in with some quinoa, some pasta, use it as a leftover dish, put a sauce on it, and you have another complete meal. All right, my pan's heating up here. I'm gonna go ahead and put some garlic and shallots in there. Mind you, my vegetables are already warm and roasted off, so they're fully cooked. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this right here. Put some of these vegetables in here. Smells wonderful. Most important thing here is not to burn your garlic or your shallots, so make sure you don't over mince those. Or even if you have them over minced or really small diced, add them towards the end and you'll still get the same amount of flavor that you're looking for. I'm gonna go ahead and salt and pepper these just a little bit more. Like I said, this was already hot going into the pan, so don't need a lot of time. I'm gonna pull it right off the heat. I'm gonna add my chimichurri in there. I like a lot of flavor, so, you know, it's all about what you personally like or don't like. So if you don't like a lot of flavor, you just want to enhance it, put a little bit less. Now you can take this a step further if you'd like. You can add some cheese, some goat cheese, some feta to the top of it, or you can leave it dairy-free. It's a great option, especially if you're a vegetarian. Go ahead and plate this. I like to give it some crunch as well, so I'm gonna top it with a little bit of pistachio dragée, which just has like a candy coat on it. It's a little bit sweeter, goes with the spice and all the flavors here. You don't have to go that fancy. You can use regular pistachios, pine nuts, pepitas, walnuts, no nuts at all. So this is just showing you that you can take all your wonderful vegetables from the garden, roast them all off, and make a complete meal or a side dish with it. Voila, there you go. I'm gonna go ahead and complete this dish like we do at the restaurant. We have edible flowers going out at the farm, so I'm just gonna spice it up a little bit with some color. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Give it a try, it's super simple at home. You cannot go wrong.
In the nation, what's precious to you is precious to us. And from your family to your belongings, to your dreams for retirement, we're here to protect what you love most. We put members first because we don't have shareholders. Join the nation.
Nationwide is on your side.
To learn more about the nation where Farm Bureau members can save on their auto insurance, call 877-ON-YOUR-SIDE or visit www.nationwide.com today.
Hi, my name is John Ledbetter. I work at Boca Nova Restaurant in Jack London Square, Oakland, California. I love cooking with simple ingredients, seasonal ingredients. I like using the right things at the right times, and I like to do 10 ingredients or less, preferably always. What we do in this business is we highlight food. And you can't highlight food unless you're using the best of what you can get. And if you can't do that, you should either try to do it or you should go do something else.
Well, that's going to do it for the show today. If you have questions about any of the stories you've seen or would like to make those recipes on the show today, you can check it all out at our website, CaliforniaBountiful.com. And you can also check out our Facebook and our new Instagram sites as well for some behind-the-scenes action. And I'm going to get started on this Dillinger pizza. This is their award-winning pizza here at Capo's. You guys got to come down here and check it out if there's any left for you, because I might just eat this whole thing. You never know. We'll see you again next week on California Bountiful. Where did the kid go? Where did the kid go?